Hi everyone, welcome back to Flyer News Movie Reviews. I'm Harrison Lee, and today we're going to be covering the film The Magnificent Seven. So without further ado, let's get started. So, the movie The Magnificent Seven, directed by Anton Fuqua and starring Denzel Washington, Ethan Hawke, and Chris Pratt, along with many other actors, is simply a remake of the original Magnificent Seven. The plot is how, in 1879, a robber baron businessman is trying to take over a town in order to use their land to mine for gold to build his monopoly. The Magnificent Seven is dispatched in order to help the townspeople and fight back against this businessman's monopoly and to stop him from taking over the town. Now, even though the ratings were low on this movie, personally I enjoyed this movie a lot, especially because it was such a great Western throwback when there was already a movie that was out, and this is just simply a reboot that made it better. If you compare this reboot to the original movie, the character diversity was so much better, as in character development and personality. Specifically, Chris Pratt and Ethan Hawke did the best job in performance, but overall, this movie captured a great Western theme to it. And overall, this movie contained every aspect of what you needed for a classic Western film. The setting was on point, the dialogue was necessary, and overall, the action packed in this movie was more phenomenal and iconic than you can imagine. If you're the type of person who likes fully leaded action with gunfighting, as in this movie, this is the perfect film to see for you. Now, even though this seems to be one of the greatest cowboy reboots of this year, there were a couple timeline errors with how the plot went in this film. For starters, the introduction had nothing to do with introducing any of the characters. Yes, it set the stage, but it did go on for a little bit too long, and it overdid a dramatic feeling which had nothing really to do with the rest of the movie. Other than that, the movie's plot was blissful without a hitch. So I'm gonna have to give 4.5 out of 5 flyers for this Western classic. It was highly entertainable, the action was on par, the all-star cast played out real well in the film, and it had a very realistic feeling to how this film was put together as a throwback and as a reboot to the original films of the cowboy film era. But I'm gonna have to give 0.2 of an angry head for this movie, really just for the misleading introduction, but other than that, there's basically nothing. This is such a great Western throwback and a good reboot for a classic movie. So that basically wraps up the review on The Magnificent Seven. I'm Harrison Lee, and thank you for watching. I'll see you all in the next review.